Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Trust Factor, the podcast that guarantees your success when you implement its divine age-old teachings. We are into chapter 6, and we are focusing on the individual that requires all of their money up front, or at least a very sizable portion. Give me my life in this world first. And then if I have time, I might focus on the life in the world to come. The meat and potatoes, the important stuff, the stuff that we're all trying to get to build in this world, because that's what this world is. It's simply a tool to get us to a higher level in the next world, a world of eternity. This temporary world takes us to a world of eternity. So you tell me, what's more important? The world that lasts for some people a few years, 20 years, 50 years, 80 years, you're done? Or a world of eternity, a world of lies and corruption, or a world of truth and goodness? You tell me, where do you want to focus your energy? We're here, so we have to focus some of our energies over here, but recognize that the reason that we focus our energies over here is as a means to get to a much higher level over there. Now, this individual he's referring to over here is one that says, I don't trust. I need money up front. I need everything over. I'm doing it for a reason, right? You're going to give me reward, and therefore I need that reward now, right? I don't want to wait for it. I'm not interested in it coming at a later date, in a later existence, in a later world. I want it now, and I want enough of it. The problem is twofold. Number one, the problem is we don't know what's enough, because we're human and we're programmed to never have enough. We have 100, we want 200. Somebody dies having achieved only half of what they set out to achieve in this lifetime. These are ideas from the Torah that tell us we were programmed to not be content with what we have and to always want more. That's a test. So we have to learn to combat that. We have to learn to do what the ethics of the Father teaches, which is what? To be happy with our lot in life. That's a big part of all of our tests. It's almost a universal test for every single human being, to condition ourselves to understand that everything is perfect and that we've been given exactly what we need, not a dollar more and not a dollar less, and that if we had more, if we had less, God forbid, we would not be set up by Hashem to be able to achieve our ultimate purpose. It needs to be exactly the amount that you have in your pocket at any given time. That doesn't mean you're not supposed to strive. It doesn't mean you're not supposed to move forward and try and grow and try and amass and acquire. Of course you are. But understand where it's coming from. Understand it's predetermined. Understand the goal is not to acquire the wealth. The goal is to just do the job, to do the work, to show up because we were commanded. God said you're going to have to work for a living. And therefore, we show up to do the work. The work is the important part. The living will come. That's how we're supposed to approach this. Now, number two problem is that to serve Hashem is a privilege. It's an utter privilege. Do you know how many people walk around this planet with blindfolds on their entire existence? 80, 90, 100 years. They've got a permanent blindfold affixed to their face. They cannot take it off. They don't even know that they're wearing it. When I became a Baal Tshuva almost 20 years ago, that was my biggest problem. My biggest challenge was walking around knowing that my loved ones, that my friends and my family who did not merit to have their blindfold taken off like I was, were continuing to walk around with a blindfold on, thinking that they knew what they were doing, thinking that they were in control, thinking that they understood how this world works. And in the meantime, I'm learning the real stuff. I've been given the truth. I've been exposed to the way some insights, not even close to a fraction, but at least some of the insights to how God runs this world. And I'm looking at these people who I care about so much, and I think to myself, why can't we just remove their blindfolds also? Why do they have to continue to walk around with it? That was my biggest challenge. And I realize not long after that everybody has their test and everybody has their relationship with their creator if they want it. But remember, we've said this multiple times, especially in the early days of the podcast. Open a pinhole for me and I will open the hole the size of an auditorium for you. But it starts with you. You have to take that step forward. And once you've done it, then he will reciprocate. So many people walking around with blindfolds on because they haven't taken that step. They haven't made the minimal effort that's required because they are so distracted by this world. The second response to a person who wants financial security in order to devote himself to God's service, he says, is that normally when anyone accepts a security from his fellow, the security has a set amount and his request has a limit. Right? I'm making $150,000 salary. I want a year advance. I don't trust you. I want $150,000. I need it now. And then we can start this relationship. That's not how it works. Why? Because one who has this approach of requesting a security from God, there's no end to his request because he does not know what amount will be sufficient to support him and to also support the members of his household with their necessary sustenance and the additional things. You don't know what's going to come up. I don't know. I know I have enough for today, but what if my son wants X? And what if my wife wants Y? And what if my daughter needs this? And what if, and what if, and what if? And our constant fear of not having enough drives us to continue to amass more and more and more. You think you've got a number, but you don't have that number because what ultimately happens is when you get to that number, you are living outside of that number. The goalpost keeps moving. You've made $100,000. You're living as though you're worth $200,000. You made $200,000. You're living as though you're worth $400,000. You've made $400,000. You're living as though you're worth $800,000, and so on and so forth. It doesn't end. Why? Because that's the way society brainwashes us. You're making money. Leverage that money. Borrow against it. Buy. Get a mortgage. Get a loan, use your credit card, do whatever it takes to be able to keep up with the Joneses. So what ends up happening is that no matter how much you make, it's simply not enough. You are living so far out of your means that you constantly need more to give you that level of assurance. That assurance never comes because you keep moving the goalpost. What does he say? And it's not just you. He's also talking about your family members, the people you are responsible for. That could cause you to also think that you need much more because you see what they need to keep up with until their last day on earth. What's the problem? He doesn't know when his last day on earth is. He doesn't know when his family's last day on earth is. And remember, we've said, what's the problem here? He doesn't know when his last day on earth is. He doesn't know when anybody's last day on earth is. And more than that, we've said many times that he thinks he's going to live forever. We all do. When you get into this routine called life, that is so full of distractions. Everywhere you turn, there's another distraction to tell you, focus on me, focus on this, focus on that, fix this, make this better, make that better. All it serves to do is detract your attention from the important things, like remembering where you've come from and where you're going, that everybody has an expiry date. When you have that knowledge, it lights a fire under you. It gives you a kick in the pants to get going, a reminder. This is a temporary existence. Move forward. Nobody's guaranteed tomorrow, and nobody knows when their time is going to come. That is in big part a reason why he's telling us over here, so many people never stop amassing and always put that condition. I'm going to come back and serve God. I'm going to come back and live a holy life. I'm going to come back and start doing things right, fixing my life and making a series of good decisions. When I reach X, that X never ever comes. It's constantly being moved out. It says, in fact, even if he eventually has many times more funds than he needs, he cannot have peace of mind. What a tragedy. Think about this. What a tragedy. Why? Because the end of life of all the people in his household is concealed, and the span of their days is thus unknown. So he can never be sure that he truly has enough money. Thus, he is being foolish and unrealistic in regards to what he is requesting as a security, because it has no limit and no set amount. We're only fooling ourselves. We don't realize it. The whole trick to fixing this, guys, the whole trick to operating properly in the face of all of this is to recognize that you have been given exactly what you need. You've worked for it. You've earned it. And now the time comes to utilize your earnings for yourself, to benefit from it yourself, and your family has to benefit from it, and your community has to benefit from it, and the world at large has to benefit from it. it, but you need to go out and enjoy the fruits of your labor. You've worked so hard to amass the wealth. When do you get to enjoy it? And the answer is, if you're a part of the corrupt system, you never get to enjoy it, or you barely ever do. And even when you think you're enjoying it because you've gone on a vacation, your head does not allow you to be in your vacation. Our biggest problem in our generation is the inability to be present. Everybody will tell you that. People are not capable of being present. What does that mean? In our context, it's very straightforward. You're not able to focus on the here and now because all you're thinking about is, how do I get more and more and more? Because I don't know when my time is up, and I don't even think my time's up. So frankly, I'm just going to keep amassing. And that's why it says, Al Tomar, don't say that when the time comes for me to change, I'll change. When that retirement comes, that'll be the key, because it will not happen. Do it today, my friends. There was no better day than yesterday, and the next best day is today. Have an amazing rest of your day, my friends, and we'll chat again tomorrow.